With white glove care and exacting precision, the final piece is put in place. It's an Emily Carr. And when you look around the room, you notice her eyes are everywhere, keeping watch over her work, gripping your gaze, and almost daring you to look away. There's a glint in her eye captured by photographers and painters alike, one that draws you in. And here we are, almost 66 years to the day after her death, still fascinated and still captivated by Emily.
But you're absolutely right about Emily in terms of her eyes. You feel you have nowhere to hide.
She's one of Canada's most well-known artists and authors. But in what sense? Many of us know the Emily Carr after she was famous, but some would say that's not the real Emily. And so the Royal BC Museum is reintroducing us to her in a whole new light.
It's a completely different kind of exhibit. The museum hasn't partnered with a contemporary artist like this to conceive of an exhibit before.
Who would, think that I could do this to her?
Artist Manon Elder and curator Catherine Bridge have joined together in what they call a conversation about the other Emily, exploring her life before she became famous. 20 original works of art are on display, as well as many of Emily's letters, drawings, and manuscripts, all focused on her life as a young woman. These rare pieces are paired with 18 new paintings by Elder, who breathed new life into the Emily we know.
When I saw pictures of her in her youth, that was it for me. I wanted to give Emily justice.
Justice, because many people have an image of Emily as an eccentric and cranky old woman, isolated and lonely while immersed in her work and her animals. Elder paints a different picture of Emily, a vibrant woman in her youth just beginning the work that would years later make her world-renowned. But lifting a life off a page and into a painting is easier said than done.
I'm painting a person's life who's no longer here, and so how can I keep it feeling fresh?
Elder drew on inspiration through many avenues. When working off a grainy black and white archival photo, it's hard to imagine the colors of the time. So she turned to other artists for insight. She looked to clothing and other period objects for detail, and she immersed herself into Emily's own art and writings. And there, she found her momentum.
I just felt the spirit of adventure. That's what she gave me, the spirit of exploration. I just felt like I was echoing what she did in her life in my painting.
And so Emily becomes bright and alive alongside period pieces. And many of these rare and intensely personal items, such as diaries and letters to the family, have never before been on public display.
The archival collections are used for research purposes. They're not often on exhibits. So what people are getting when they come to the exhibit is things that aren't normally on exhibit, and a few Emily Carr paintings that have never been on exhibit.
The Other Emily opens this week at the Royal BC Museum and runs until October. And there's all kinds of activities going on with it as well. Check the museum's website for details on presentations with the artist and curator, as well as art workshops for kids. In Victoria, I'm Hilary Hallman, your Community News Specialist.
Producing over 9,000 hours of local programming every year. This is Shaw TV, your local voice.